The fire burning in Rancho Bernardo right now, threatening several homes and businesses for a while, though it appears in the past 15 minutes to a half hour, they've done a great job at tamping this down from the air, as you see that retardant there. Glad you're with us here at 11:01 on this Wednesday. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. You may have been with us for the past couple hours. We've been bringing this breaking news to you. If you are just now joining us, we want to let you know evacuations are underway in the Rancho Bernardo area. So you see on the map right there, center of your screen there, Bernardo Center Drive and Camino del Norte. That's where initially crews were called to the scene of this fire. West of the 15, it's close to several neighborhoods. Also, RB Kinder Care is close by.
Yeah, an elementary school just to the north and one to the south is under evacuations as well. We want to kick things out to CBS 8. Steve Price kicking off our live team coverage with the latest. And what are you seeing now, Steve?
Good morning. We are on Camino del Norte, and I want to go ahead and show you what is happening over my shoulder. You can see fire crews, hand crews, firefighters up at the top of the hill there because the fire just within the last short time has started to crest over that hill. The other thing I want to tell you that's very important is that they had to stop all of the airdrops in this area for about 20 minutes. The reason, somebody flew a drone in the area and that forced all the aircraft down. So they are pleading with people in this area, please do not put up any drones. Joining me now, Assistant Fire Chief Dan Eddy. Let's talk about what happened out here. Where does this fire stand right now?
So right now we stand about 7 acres right now. We don't have full containment, about 25% is where we're at, but we have it boxed in on all areas. We're bringing crews in right now, hand crews to start working the outside and go to the end to get the hottest part of the fire. We are relaunching our helicopters again now that the zone is cleared, so you'll see 2 helicopters doing water drops to continually cool the area. Crews will be here for the next 4 to 6 hours at least until we get to those sundowner winds to make sure we make it through it and we get all those hot spots out.
Let's talk about the area. Apartment complexes, homes, where do we stand with that?
So right now, luckily, nothing has been impacted. We don't have any losses of homes, any losses to any of the apartments or anything else. The crews did a great job to the south and the west to hold it from impinging on any of those areas up there right now. It is mainly just brush that we were able to hold it to, which is great.
And we also have a preschool over here. Where do things stand with that?
So the preschool is a shelter in place. We held it. They should, as parents are coming in, they can grab their children if they need to, but we sheltered in place because it was easier because our fire was moving towards the southwest and away from it. But our fear was if there was any wind shift that came back that way. We had units sitting on the preschool at the time to ensure that if something did happen, we had firefighters there to react.
We've been very lucky with the wind. I mean, we are expecting more wind later today into tomorrow, but right now we've gotten pretty lucky.
This is great for our winds here right now, what you feel. You'll feel a little pickup here or there. Like I said, my worry is this afternoon as we get a couple sundowners or Santa Anas that come into that 2 to 4 o'clock range. So our crews will continually work right now while we have the wind to our advantage to get all that cooling going.
Let's talk about injuries because I do understand that somebody was pretty seriously injured.
Yeah, we had one person that we had to air ambulance out of here with burns, unknown of the extent of their injuries or how it occurred, but we have masked on scene investigating right now.
Which leads to my next question, evacuations. Where do we stand with that and what's the message we want to get out to folks?
So the main thing that we have on evacuations, we're going to try to reduce those down as soon as we can. We want to get people back to their houses and into where they should be. The only concern that I have as the chief is south and to the west right now. So we're holding those because if I get an ember cast that goes back into a green area, we're going to be in the same spot again. So I ask that you just be patient with us. We will get you back to your houses as soon as we can once we know we have the forward rate of spread stopped on this fire.
Chief, a year ago today we were talking about heavy rains and flooding. Yeah. Today we're talking about heat and fires every day. I mean, we have had fires all across. What is going on?
So I think what I look at is a year ago I was standing in 6 feet of water. Right now we're at a 1/16 of an inch total of rain for San Diego at this part of the season. So we have to shift our gears. Instead of us worrying about those storms and mudslides and floods, we're still worried about fires continuing to grow for us. My hope is we get a little bit of water this weekend. It's not going to stop things, but it'll help us a little bit because we have Santa Anas that we predict again next week.
We don't have fire season anymore.
No, it's fire year for us now, and it really is. It is an expected time for us consistently throughout the year to have these types of responses. When I first came on the job, this was not a norm for us, but it has become our new norm. We've adapted to it immensely as you see the amount of personnel here and resources from all around the county to come and help. We've all adapted to it for the environment that we're in now.
And for the folks who evacuated, I just want to reiterate, no structures lost as far as you know at this point. So a breathe a sigh of relief, at least for now.
It's a breathe of sigh of relief. I was at the Mission Valley Fire, of course, yesterday or whatever. We did have damage to one structure there. So to have nothing here right now, crews did a great job to keep it to the interior of the burn.
You guys deserve a rest.
I'll take one in about 10 to 12 more years, so and I'll be all right.
Assistant Chief Dan Eddy, thank you very much for your time. So that's where we stand right now. Some good news in that no structures have been affected at all at this point. We do have those evacuation orders in effect, and we will work to get some more information on that one burn victim who was flown out of here. But in the meantime, you can see the drops have continued. And one more reminder to folks, please do not put drones up in the air. In fact, it sounds like we're gonna have a drop right there. There it goes, just right over there on your shoulder, so we can see those are continuing at this hour. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, critically important information not to get those drones up. We need to attack this from the air until it is out, completely out.
It's been so critical in this firefight.
Right.
As the firefighters mentioned, those sundowner winds in the afternoon tend to pick up.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a little bit of that lull, and it's thanks to the water, the fire retardant, that we're seeing the smoke subside. So that's been really crucial.
Absolutely.
No drones, please.
There are homes and condos wrapped completely around this cliff here, and people are on edge because of it, understandably. Let's check in with CBS 8's Chris Groh. You spoke to one woman who was a bit in shock, was kind of watching what was going on, not sure what to do. I mean, evacuation orders are underway, a little bit of chaos you've been seeing there.
Look, there's been a whole host of reactions. We've got people that are standing by to watch to see exactly what may be happening, running to go grab their things. We have a water drop that's about to happen here right behind us, but I want to bring in Ethan because earlier we actually saw him sprinting down this hill. This is your uncle who lives down here, but this is your uncle's dog. You were running. What was going through your mind?
You know, I've seen some fires, but this one was way too close for comfort. And my uncle called me kind of in a panic. You know, I knew there was some fires pretty close. I called my friend who lives in this neighborhood, and I asked him like if he was doing all right. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing fine. Like, we're doing okay. And then he texted me, yo, we're evacuating. And then just after that, my uncle called me. And then she was in the crate. He's working. His wife was working, so he asked me if I could come pick it up. I come pick her up. I came. I couldn't get through like these streets. I was trying to go down Camino del Norte because my uncle lives on the opposite side of this mountain. So I did what I could. I parked my car. I got there as fast as I could.
You sprinted through. We saw a number of people sprinting just like you. So take me through it. It's just getting the dog, getting her to safety as quickly as possible, right?
Yeah. That was the goal. And she's okay. She was a little nervous seeing all the helicopters. There's helicopters landing in that neighborhood, like getting water from fire hydrants or something. I'm not sure, but it was so close. She was so nervous and she was so scared. But we're okay. She's only about like 5 months old. She's still a puppy, so I'm happy she's all right. She's okay.
We've seen an incredible job here by the San Diego Fire Department and other first responders to try to get this calmed down pretty quickly. What's it been like seeing that firsthand?
You know, driving through, I saw like all the traffic, and I kind of knew it was gonna be hard to get through. And then I pulled over next to an officer that was holding the line. I was telling him I need to get my dogs out, and he just said I'd get arrested if I tried to drive through. So I found my way around. I was able to park up. I was running through these streets with all these firefighters and cops and helicopters around. Yeah, that is insane. Wow. But yeah, it looks like they're doing good. There's a lot more charcoal smell, and I can smell the fire when I was getting through that mountain. But I'm okay now. We're okay. We're good. So.
I'm glad you could catch your breath, Ethan. I'm glad that you guys are okay. Why don't you guys get off where you're going? And again, glad you guys were able to get that. And that's a similar story. We saw a number of parents carrying their children up this hill. It's a really steep hill, guys. A lot of people, like Ethan just said, not able to take their cars down, but they live and they've been working and they've been, trying to get to these areas to try to get their things, their belongings, the things that they can't live without. That's what we're told often by first responders, to have that go bag ready. The problem is that when you're at home and this fire hits, you get that evacuation order, that panic sets in. That's what we've been seeing people as they've been coming down here. We also know that my colleague, Alex Cheney, has been seeing, again, a different angle on this. I want to bring him in now as we see yet another water drop on this side of the hill. Alex, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Chris, I think that water drop is coming in right now. That's a sheriff's helicopter coming in. But I just want to let you know where I am right now. This is the Camino del Norte and Paseo Montanoso. This is right where the KinderCare is. This thing leads up to the villas of Bernardo, and this is just over the hill. Right now, we can see a few hand crews, a few fire crews are still up on the ridge. I think they're trying to make that one of the fire breaks, so they're going to try to stop the forward progress. I can see fire crews up here and even a little bit farther up the hill as well. At least from this vantage point, does look like they have stopped forward progress. We were walking around in the apartment homes earlier, and I was just getting a sense of the panic from the people who had to evacuate from these areas. Many of them getting a text, some not getting a text that it was time to evacuate, grabbing a few things and getting out. I spoke to one gentleman who told me he got his most important documents, gathered those all up, put them in his vehicle, and just started to wait. They came down to the leasing center. It seemed like everybody from that community just went to the leasing center, and they were just waiting there. He said, look, if I'm by the police, that probably means I'm in the right place. There's going to be somebody there to help me, somebody there to immediately tell me what I need to do. The good news here is that everything at that apartment complex looked calm. It looked fine. Does look like firefighters here got an excellent jump on things. Camino del Norte is still shut down, and just earlier we saw one of the helicopters actually coming down into the middle of the street to refuel, to get some new members on board as well. We have another helicopter that's on the approach right now, so we'll see if this is a drop in a second here. But things are pretty calm on the street right now. There's a few people just standing around. We've been seeing people leaving the area. They've had cats strapped to their front and back. Here it is. A woman had a cat on the front, the back, and was holding a dog as well. So I think animals getting out of the area is really important right now as well. I could hear the dog actually crying as they were walking away from the scene in this area. Tremendous response from fire teams. I can see several different cities in the San Diego area here. Massive police presence as well. This thing is pretty well handled. People are definitely shook. I spoke to another man who told me after seeing everything in LA, he and his wife were prepared. They had actually already packed a bag, and they were just simply eating their breakfast at about 9:30, 9:45 this morning, and got out of there as quickly as they possibly could. You walk around these neighborhoods, there's a lot of people just standing out on the corner waiting to hear something. What's going to change? What's the new update? But as of right now, at very least, it does seem like they have a handle on it, guys.
All right,
Glad
Alex,
to
thank you
hear,
for that. Yeah.
Alex, and that RB KinderCare that we mentioned, right where Alex is, and parents were told they can pick up their kids.
Good.
They likely have already done so.
I drive by this area every day. This is not far from where I live. That is one small little ridge of dry brush. Beyond that is where you see Black Mountain. So it's great that we're seeing those aerial drops. Let's check in with Evan Arani here. And it's also great that Lake Hodges isn't too far away for these helicopters to run and get some buckets and to try to tamp this thing out.
I mean, we've watched as fires have popped up day over day for the last several, and this is yet another one that has told many people the reminder that they needed to have a go bag ready to be able to get out at a moment's notice, because a lot of families yesterday around the Fashion Valley area didn't have time to do so. Today, same situation. You want to have that go bag prepared. Take a look at your relative humidity. This is how much moisture is in the atmosphere right now. We've watched hour over hour these numbers have fallen. About an hour ago, Poway was at 20% humidity, now 18. Alpine's at 4%. One other thing that has actually helped out these crews is that wind speeds and gusts have been relatively mild. Take a look at where we are right now at the 11 o'clock hour. Sustained speeds around 5 miles per hour. Wind gusts around 9 miles per hour. So very mild versus what we see over the coming hours, where things will get a bit more breezy and where we're still under a red flag warning until 8 p.m. on Thursday. That covers our inland valleys and our mountains. That applies to Rancho Bernardo and the Poway area. So expect that to remain in play until 8 p.m. tomorrow, and then for a high wind watch to take effect for tomorrow as well. So a lot of high fire danger across the area. We're waiting for that chance for rain in the forecast that'll help us out tremendously.